So, as you all have saw on the post, I said that I had like no plans for Halloween, but I am right now in the process of watching a Medora video, and that got me thinking. There was a lot of stuff I forgot to cover on my top scariest list. So, I will probably do that. So, I will just talk about them randomly, and so prepare for a slideshow. Anyway, there's not going to be like any specific order. I'm just going to mention the scary stuff that I forgot to mention. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So to start things off, we're going to start with Veggie Tales Madame Blueberry. This creeped me out as a kid, the whole video. Like the Veggie Tales theme song was already a little bit off as a kid, but the actual episode of Madame Blueberry is pretty freaky. What I didn't like was like the amounts of crying, like Madame Blueberry crying, Bob and Larry crying. Mostly Madame Blueberry, and her crying just felt distressful. And then on top of that, there's like this chase scene of like this treehouse rocking back and forth, and the treehouse gets destroyed in the end. Like, I get that's like tough love for Madame Blueberry, but for goodness sakes, it's just terrifying to see the chase. It just feels off, and just hearing that of the trombone, it just feels strange. It just feels weird. This whole special just feels off. Strangely, the butterfly didn't really scare me, but still. His cheeseburger wasn't really scary, although some people got creeped out by Mr. Lunt because it was the first time people saw him without his hat, and he didn't have any eyes like Mr. Magoo. Many people just thought his eyes were hidden under his hat, but he's just eyeless like Mr. Magoo. But still, that didn't creep me out. It was just the whole video. Just mostly Bob and Larry crying at the end, especially because it just jump scares you. SpongeBob, I swear, why must you creep me the freak out? For goodness sakes. I was just a child, damn it. For goodness sakes. Why must you have done this? Why couldn't you have just ended it off with the character saying goodbye Atlantis? Why this scene? I mean, why even have the patchy segments in it at all? I mean, for goodness sakes. This is just weird. These aliens just talking like this high-pitched voice, and when they press the button, it just causes a tornado, and I get the reference in The Wizard of Oz, but still, that scene scared the crap out of me as a kid. I mean, whose bright idea was it to do this? I'd quite like to see them, because I have some choice words, because, for goodness sakes, children are watching your show. Little, tiny children. Babies, toddlers, children, preteens, tweens, all that stuff. For goodness sakes. Why must you have done this? Why? I swear, it's like you're trying to make some sort of like horror film. I mean, for goodness sake, SpongeBob, could you dial down on the creepy just a little bit?
Only from Sony Wonder, wherever children's videos, CDs, cassettes, and book and tape sets are sold.
Are you kidding me? Did I say it was your turn? Oh, forget it. Let's talk about you. Whenever I saw this at the end of Kids' Favorite Songs 2, I just felt this uneasy feeling because it just came and went as it pleases, because that's how logos are today, apparently. After this, dead silence. The video's over. Time to press rewind. It just gives me chills just thinking about it. If this ever came on in the middle of the night, I would be terrified, probably. I would probably be frozen in fear. I would probably run the hell out of my room, because this is just creepy to the max. The fact that you see the Sony Wonder logo, which was already scary to me as a kid, a little bit anyway, not as much as like Lionsgate and the other logos I've mentioned on that list, but for goodness sakes, why did you have to do this? Why? Please, tell me where in your good conscience was this your idea? I mean, why do this? Why have that loud trumpet fanfare go? For goodness sakes, children are watching. Yikes. Imagine seeing this before you have to go to bed. Then again, there's a lot of other conclusive logos like Deluxe Digital Studios, DVCC, CP Macrovision, and a lot of other conclusive logos that really creeped me out. Because, well, it was basically a sign that the movie's over. It's time for you to face your reality again. The fun's over. So is your adventure. And I'm not like talking like the regular closing logos. I'm talking more of like the technological logos like the aforementioned ones I've mentioned before. Anyway, moving on. No. No!
Stay tuned for a special presentation after the movie.
And I thought you were the worst one. But no. That previous one creeped me out as a kid. Yeah, these were a lot creepier than the feature presentation ones. Especially because the feature presentation ones followed these ones. Seeing the mountain and a dark, ominous background, and then the text just zooming back, slightly giving you flashbang Disney vibes. And then the lack of music, and just out of nowhere you just hear the voice going, "And now, the special presentation." Which, a little known fact, the voice of that is actually the voice of Charles Finster from the Rugrats series. Which I thought that was interesting, but still. Really, Chaz, you just had to give a terrifying voice for this? I mean, for goodness sakes. This along with the previously mentioned ones, the Stay Tuned one, which is creepy. When I saw this the second time at the end of Blue Spick Musical, I was like, no, please don't put me through the feature presentation logo again. But yeah. These bumpers scared me a little bit. These are actually translating different languages like French and Spanish. But yeah, just a special fact about that. But anyway, this I forgot to mention on the Scary Logos video. And I probably should have mentioned it because this was terrifying, man. Really terrifying. The ominous nature, the off-putting text, and the announcer out of nowhere. It's just terrifying. So at the time of me recording this, I watched Medora's video all the way through, and I saw that he had both of these bumpers in the dishonorable mentions of his ones that got away list. Anyway, moving on. Now, I've mentioned why this bumper scared me.
And now, our feature presentation.
But I forgot to mention one other Disney feature presentation bumper that also scared me. This.
Thanks for joining us for this special preview. And now, our feature presentation.
This bumper was just as scary as film reel. Maybe because I didn't know what feature presentation meant. I mean, as soon as I got older though, I realized that meant that the movie was starting, but still it just felt conclusive. The fanfare just made it sound like it was ending, like you just completed something. Same can apply for film reel. The film reel version has a somewhat conclusive theme, almost like we're concluding the film reel bumpers, but we're just concluding the previews. However, Great Ovation, the first few notes sound very conclusive. Same thing for the last notes, which sounds a lot more brighter and happier, but well, the beginning just feels bombastic and terrifying. However, this particular announcer, Bo Weaver, made it sound a lot more scarier because, well, instead of saying the usual stuff, he says, "Thanks for joining us for this special preview." And it just feels like it's ending because he's saying thank you, almost like we're done with something. That's what makes the "Thanks for joining us" version of this bumper creepier than probably the original predecessor. Thankfully, I didn't see the navy blue one, but that probably would have scared me as a kid. One day, when I was a kid and I was approaching the dark hallway, I thought I saw this at the end of the hall, and I felt scared. I was like, oh dear, please don't tell me that's gonna jump out and just start jumping towards me and gonna eat me or something. But yeah, this particular version definitely gave me the creeps. Yikes! That was creepy. Okay. The Diamond Edition of Beauty and the Beast scares me for a few reasons. One, it has some jarring coloring bumpers, or film reel 2.0, which is the bumpers that, you know, succeeded the film reel bumpers. But well, the main thing that was scary on that DVD though was this Disney Enhanced Home Theater Mix. This logo just gives me the creeps. It only does it a little bit today, but well, as a kid, it just felt very creepy. Like, I couldn't tell if that was like a movie theater curtain or an ocean or whatever as the background, but either way, the sparkling and that weird hissing sound or whatever it is, it just feels like, I don't know. It was just mildly terrifying, though. Honestly, I am so glad I didn't see this much as a kid because, you know. But this definitely gave me a spook. For sure. And I completely forgot to mention this on the dishonorable mentions of my Scary Logos videos. But I thought I mentioned them here, so yeah, need I say more? Well, folks, I think that's just about it. That was all the forgotten clips and logos that I forgot to mention on my top 10 scary logo and movie scene videos. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now. So subscribe to Drew Thomas and don't forget to ring the bell icon to be notified about our latest videos, and be sure to check out my other forms of media like Facebook and Instagram. I don't have X. Well, I do have X, but I don't really use X because yeah, I also have like 2 TikTok accounts, one that I don't use anymore, the other that I hardly use. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, this is Drew Thomas signing off. Good night, and pickles suck.
And now, our feature presentation.
Stay tuned for a special presentation after the movie.
Thanks for joining us for this special preview. And now, our feature presentation.